You're listening to Premier League Darts live on talkSPORT 2 in partnership with Village Hotels. Dine out, stay, work out and play. Visit villagehotels.com for more information. Chris Mason alongside me. Mace, the night as a whole has delivered on so many fronts, in so many ways. It all started with that dramatic breaking news that Michael van Gerwen was having to withdraw from the evening due to a shoulder injury. That gave Gerwyn Price a bye through to the semi-final. When you look at that, that could work in either way, couldn't it, for Gerwyn Price, because he's not had the match sharpness, if you like, that Chris Dobey will have, but then also he is coming in fresh. He is going, well, I've already picked up 2 points, I can exert more energy in the 2 matches I do play, and he has taken it as a positive, as he's deciding to take pretty much everything this year. That's his mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. It's certainly, like I say, a change of mindset. Listen, it'll work. There's an advantage and disadvantage. If you win that game, you go into that final with a lot more energy left. The risk is playing someone who's already hot, had a game, confidence. You're going up there very, very much cold. But I thought it was a very professional performance from Gezi. He looked solid from the start. Didn't panic. We know his Achilles heel is bombing doubles, right? And if he starts missing doubles, he'll miss them throughout a match. And that's just one of them things. Some of them players are like that. And listen, once he started ticking them off, and listen, Bunty's done all right up to this stage, but he's had a bit of an hand up along the way. There's been a lot of missed doubles against him. He's played fantastically at times, but Gezi Price is a different kind of challenge. And listen, this is a Gezi Price who's looking to climb that league table, secure that playoff spot. He's not one of those that's particularly worried about finishing top. He just wants to be in that finals night, where it's played over a longer format, and you can the trophy's that close you can almost touch it. He's just coming off the back of a fabulous week in winning another Pro Tour, and most definitely he's the man to beat.
Well, you mentioned the title being within touching distance, of course. He does have a pretty torrid record in the Premier League. 6 previous campaigns, only once has he reached the finals. Now, that was in 2023, where he did go all the way to the final, beaten by Michael van Gerwen. On that occasion, many, including myself, went into that final believing that Gerwyn Price was the player to beat. We thought he was going to possibly coast to victory against MVG in that final. This year, yes, his demeanour is different, but you kind of look at this campaign and you're thinking, how can it just be because of his mindset that he is now looking pretty good to make finals night for just a second time in his career? Is it just that, or have you noticed any other differences in him?
I don't think he's as an explosive type of player as he was, but I certainly think he's more rounded. And I think because maybe he's sort of slightly toned down the celebrations and the reactions, that maybe allows him to control that adrenaline a bit better, because he blows hot and cold at times. Listen, when he's on, he's remarkable. We've seen that from him many times. And we've also seen the big averages. I just think he's becoming. Listen, he was a really late starter. He's in terms of how long being a pro. I mean, what he's achieved is incredible, because he's literally come from nothing. Like literally no Super League county experience, no international darts. Johnny Clayton, although again a late starter in terms of pro darts, he played international darts, he played county darts, he was playing when I was playing county darts. So you sort of he's had a bit of an education in some way, but it's a fascinating final for many reasons. You talked about Bunty being on 0. Well, he could end the night a hero, and listen, it's well within his grasp. If it's your night, it's your night. But they have played once in the Premier League, of course, already in the first half, and that was a win for Gezi, wasn't it? So the overall head-to-heads, again, 13-7 in favour of Pricey, but Bunty has won 3 of their last 4 meetings. He actually strung 3 wins together against Gezi before losing in the Premier League in the early stages. And again, it was a quarter-final match, obviously, because he'd not won a game until tonight. But it was 6-4. It was another close game on paper. But listen, this is a different Bunty. He's got his tail up. He played beautifully in the week, and he'll fancy the job. But I think he's going to come up against a player who will have a different approach to this one. I think he'll have a Gezi loves winning. You know, I think if it was a game of dominoes for a penny a point, he'd still want to win. You know, he's just cut from a slightly different cloth. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the final because I'm looking forward to what Bunty can produce, and if he produces in the spells he has done tonight when he's been very good, it could go down to the wire. Yeah,
you mentioned it being a very different Stephen Bunting. His finishing had been something that we'd really focused on. It was down below 30% over the course of this tournament, largely due to his performances over the last couple of weeks, where you could really see the performances and the situation had really started to get to him. He was working his way down to finishes and just unable to take them. He was cut in such a devastated figure, really.
Well, I suppose if you sort of gave it a title, he almost had performance anxiety, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was really struggling to just deal with the whole thing. And listen, you know, you get it sometimes. I've never played in the Premier League, but you know, I played in, you know, like local leagues, singles leagues, where you know you have a couple of defeats and you start to think, oh, hang on a minute, how can I turn this around? Well, that's in that environment and at that level. At this level, where week in, week out, you're walking into guys who are averaging 103, 104, 105. You know, it's almost impossible to get out of that slump. So credit where it's due for Bunty, making the final tonight. Irrelevant what happens in that final, it's giving him a huge boost. I think it'd be a fabulous story if he went on to win it, and then can we start to make a case? Could it be the greatest escape of all time?
Well, do you know what? You laugh and you say that, but I have been looking at the Premier League table. As soon as he made the final, I was thinking, right, then you've got Dobey on 7 points currently, and you've got Michael van Gerwen on 13, and you know, it becomes more of a possibility.
It's not in the realms of impossibility, is it? Because it's for the bottom half of the table, that they have been dominated by the top half. So that's left a window of opportunity for someone to come out of that pack, which is why I think when you were last on, we discussed it, that we felt that P4 position is up for grabs. You know, it really is up for grabs.
Well, especially when you look at, if Bunting were to go on and win the night, Michael van Gerwen is yet to do that in this campaign. And I think then the narrative really does start to change. Before tonight, we were looking at the matchup that was meant to be then, if you like, between Michael van Gerwen and Gerwyn Price. Gezi'd won 2 nights this campaign, MVG hadn't picked up a nightly win, and you start going, well, it just shows that slow trickling of points really does count for something in the early stages. Well, maybe if Bunting starts winning a couple of nights, you go, right, this is the point where you can't just rely on that slow trickling of points anymore.
Yeah, and it wasn't until, was it Newcastle? Oh, no. How long did he wait to win back-to-back matches?
Oh,
night 7, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Throughout the campaign, yes, he was winning in his opening games, but couldn't string together 2 matches on the spin. And like you rightly said, when in the last match talking to Nico, what happens if this injury is severe enough that he misses out another week? Yeah. He's in a world of trouble then. Yeah, because everyone's going to close the gap.
I really think he could be, and especially, you know, even when he does come back now, there's already pressure on him next week. Chris Dobey will go into that if he is fit and able to play, knowing that he's playing a bit of a wounded. Look, in darts, strange things happen when a player is injured. We've seen players winning tournaments with gout, with broken bones in their body. I'm not saying
sciatica.
Yeah. Players win things when they're injured. It's a ridiculous thing, but it happens in this sport. But a word on Chris Dobey then, because yet again he's made it to the semi-final, and then he just couldn't find the level required, could he? That finishing, he had opportunities in a number of legs that he wasn't able to take. It's got to be so frustrating, because he was with Gerwyn Price in a number of aspects of that game.
It's a worrying trend with Dobey. I love everything about Dobey. Yeah. He's clean cut. He's 100% committed to the sport. He's got a lovely action, a great attitude. Yeah. But there's a trend in his game, and it's something that he needs to address, because it won't disappear. He's another one who gets himself into positions of, not necessarily dominant, but in a position to potentially get the job done. And he just can't do it. And listen, it's not a fundamental thing, because you could get the greatest darts coaches in the world and they wouldn't be able to find a flaw with that throw. It's a mental thing.
It is indeed, but now it is time for John McDonald to introduce our finalists.
From the incredible city of Berlin, Germany. This is our Berlin final, all brought to you by the Professional Darts Corporation. Ladies and gentlemen, for the thousands joining us live and the millions joining us around the world, it's time to meet the players. The winner of 3 Grand Slam titles, a World Grand Prix champion, a 2-time World Cup champion, a former Premier League finalist, and a former champion of the world, the Iceman, Gerwyn Price.
Well, if there was any doubt, Gerwyn Price continues to prove at the start of 2025 that a happy and fully firing Iceman is good for the world of darts. As he was being announced there by John McDonald, he was just joining in with his own introduction, a huge beaming smile across his face. The most successful Welshman in PDC history, the only Welshman to have won the PDC World Championship title.
The Bahrain Darts Master, a 2-time World Championship semi-finalist, the winner of the Masters. Ladies and gentlemen, the former Lakeside champion, that is, the Bullet, Stephen Bunting.
We mentioned at the start of tonight's show how the aims, the ambitions, the targets for Stephen Bunting will have changed and continue to change over the course of this campaign. Well, maybe he'll be changing them for the better after tonight. Maybe he'll have his sights on the top 4 again. It was interesting spending some time with him at the exhibition that I was at on Friday night, and you know, there was almost a resignation from him, and there were a number of other players who were saying, you know, you have to, I know you're only joking, but you just have to have a more positive mindset, even when you're just chatting to us about these things. And you can understand it, you're trying to ease the pressure on yourself, you're trying to act like it's not getting to you, like it's not impacting you.
Which is an absolute tell, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, make out it doesn't matter, then you know it does. And listen, he wouldn't be human if it wasn't affecting him. Listen, it was a torrid time for him, and I'd love to say, well, it's all your own fault, mate, because you didn't play very well. But when you're playing that well and just not getting any results, and listen, you don't become a bad player overnight. It's just the nature of the beast. Look at Peter Wright, a multiple world champion, bottom 2 years on the spin.
Yeah, I think as well, an aspect that maybe doesn't get talked about as much, but when you are a family man and you've got children who are at school age, and Stephen was saying, you know, sometimes the kids will start bullying his son because of the position he's in. So then, that layer of pressure that's already on you,
it becomes personal.
Yeah. And it is gigantic then, because it is your family who are involved. And I can't imagine what the last 8 weeks have been like for him, but boy, the relief that he must be feeling right now. And Gerwyn Price, I have to say, he's walking around up on that stage. He is having a wonderful time.
Well, he gets great support over there, doesn't he? And even though Bunty is super popular, they will give Gezi his props. And I'm with you. You just sit back and enjoy every bit of emotion and passion that oozes out of his body when he plays darts. He's box office, and he's brilliant when he's allowed to play, when he's not being echoed and booed or insulted or abused. You know, he's great for our sport, and there was a time a couple of years ago, Abby, I think we discussed it, I wouldn't have been surprised to have seen him walk.
Yeah. Well, even as recently as a year and a half ago, there was a genuine concern that he'd walk away from this game. He was begging, he was pleading with people to stop. He was getting emotional up on, and it's the thing that I've always found really interesting with Gerwyn Price and the way he is up on stage, which is absolutely captivating to watch from my personal opinion. The players have never had an issue with it. They've never found it offensive, but people have taken it on themselves to deem it.
Well, it's like people being offended on other people's behalves, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the people that they're trying to be offended on behalf of aren't even offended themselves.
Yeah.
We live in a funny old world. And of course, because he's been successful as well, they hate that even more. So 64, a good recovery from Bunty. He's down to 197. He's got the throw in this final. Gezi on 267, 2 single 20s. Narrowly misses the treble 19 to leave 170. So they're both 2 turns away of possibly winning this opening leg. Bunty from 197, single 20, treble, and a single down to 97.
Can Price set things up better?
Would you like to see the final extended a little?
Yeah, I think I would actually. Yeah. Give it a bit of gravitas, especially, Gerwyn Price, he's only played 1 match tonight.
Exactly.
Make it first to 98.
Nearly the 97 was found for Bunting. He caught me off guard there. I didn't quite see where the dart one went, but he's missed double 12. Price has gone from 108 on the 17s, looking at 4 of them, but he's had to adjust. 34 left by, although my maths could be wrong. No, it is double 17, which he misses. He couldn't see the treble 17 for tops, so opted for treble 19 for double 17. So one of them's on 15, one of them's on 34. You do not see this very often.
Double 4 for Stephen Bunting. Well, he misses outside on double 2 as well. So Gerwyn Price, you left it. You hit it, mate.
Didn't even go for it. That's why it's the least hit double in darts, double 17. And he's missed double 12, and he normally loves it. Well, now this is a worrying start, because if he doesn't shake this off, he'll have a match of missing doubles.
Well, we did see it in his last match against Chris Dobey as Stephen Bunting misses outside again on double 2, trying to work his way in, but that last dart is an awkward one, having to shuffle right across the hockey and couldn't find his way in.
He'd have hit it from there, it'd have been about 10 foot away.
Yeah.
Double 6 needed. He's outside, shuffles over to the right. Oh, he's got even closer. Not how that's possible. He's eventually got there. Well, that was a long one, Abby. I'm not sure how long that was. I ran out of paper.
Yeah, it was incredibly long in the end. I think Bunting missed 6 darts at double. Gerwyn Price missed 5 before he eventually hit.
97.
Got a feeling that was a 24 darter.
It was a 21 darter in the end.
Not too shabby. But important for Price, because it's an early break, and that puts Bunty on the back foot. He was laser-like focused in the early stages of that Dobey match, and I think at full 1 he had a little wobble, didn't he? Missed a few, and Dobey didn't really take advantage.
Yeah, but he was taken. Yes, he was wrapping up as Stephen Bunting hits the first maximum of this final. It was taking him 2 or 3 darts.
Yeah.
He was getting it done, importantly, in the one visit.
Yes.
But he was using up 2, if not all, of his darts to get over the line.
Turn perfect rather than visit perfect. Well, this is a super leg from Bunty. 1 through 4 takes him down to 87 after 9. Pricey, 2 treble 20s from 2-2-1. Leads 1-0. Gets his first max. He's down to 41, so there's pressure on the 87. Treble 17 for double 18. Gets the single, so 20 and ball. Gets the 20. Bullseye. Buried.
Lovely stuff from Stephen Bunting to level us up.
What a contrast in legs.
That's what we're used to seeing. But also, that's the difference for Bunting now, isn't it? Because had that been in his first match and he'd had a leg like that where he misses 6 darts at double, it's not that easy to regroup, is it? It's nowhere near as easy.
Absolutely not. Listen, he's gone from a player hoping he hits it to believing he hits that ball and believing he can win matches. That's why for me it was a great decision. You know, a lot of people may have thought, listen, don't go to the Pro Tours. If you get beat early, it'll damage your confidence even more. He's gone, no, I'm going there to rebuild and use that as a tool to get myself back to a winning mentality, and he's just hit another max down to 261. Again, Pricey responds.
Ah, this is turning into something special now, isn't it, between these two? Both putting that first leg behind them now. We've had 4 maximums, 2 apiece. But Bunting unable to find a big treble. So it's advantage Gerwyn Price on the Bunting throw. The bull at 220, Price 221, looking to get down to a finish first. Finds a big treble 18.
Gets the treble on the cover. Doesn't find another. He's down to 124. Pricey 128. Should be 18s. Finds the treble. Needs another. Doesn't get it. So Bunty will be back. Had a go at 124 for back-to-back legs and a 2-1 lead.
Stephen, you require 124.
First port of call for Stephen Bunting, who just takes an extra moment. Is treble 20. Just low of that segment. So treble 18 is found for bullseye. Well, he got the line right, didn't he?
Would have been back-to-back bullseyes.
It would have been. And it was not a bad effort, but Gerwyn Price above the treble 20 bed with dart 1, but pins it with number 2.
Well, 3 legs played, 3 breaks to throw. And it's Gezi that needs 2-1 in a race to 6 in the final here in Berlin.
That did feel like quite a significant moment, that, didn't it? I know Bunting only had that dart at the bull.
100.
But he's not happy with that return of a ton.
The doubling has not been great from both. 1 from 8. I'm sure you could pick that up on the effects mic. That was a big roar of pleasure. At the moment, Bunty's averaging just shy of 95. Pricey just shy of 92. Ultimately, it is 2-1 to Pricey.
Yeah, I mean, the scoring's not been too shabby, has it? It's those darts at double that have been the real killer in this one. Stephen Bunting has had darts in all 3 legs. He could have a 3-0 lead now and be halfway to a first nightly win. But 6 darts squandered in leg number 1. He had that 1 dart at bull in the last leg as well that he missed.
100.
And instead he's chasing. He has left himself with a possibility of going for the bull again at the end of this one, though, if he can reel in the big fish.
Oh, Pricey nearly just hit the big fish on the approach play. He's left 56. Bunty, 2 treble 20s and bull. No, not this time. So Pricey will be back at 56 for a 3-1 lead. Like 9 of 17. It's flown by, hasn't it?
It really has. A 1-4-5 set up play to leave himself this dart at tops. He misses with a first. He could not have been much closer with those 2 darts at double. But he's missed 2 at tops to extend his advantage. So Bunting now has an opportunity with this 110 to level proceedings again.
Needed a treble with either darts 1 or 2, and in fact trebleless, single 20, 18 and a 12. Tops again for Pricey, needing multiple chances to get this done, and he's still not there. 1 dart left, double 10 needed. Disaster, absolute disaster. And well, he's indicating that someone's literally just whistled as he's throwing that last dart, and sort of sarcastically going, thank you, well done. Very smart. Tops for Bunting.
Well, I have to say, as Bunting does level us up at 2 apiece, they were not well thrown darts at double from Gerwyn Price at all. Now, I didn't hear the whistling when he was throwing, but we say it all the time. It will never fail to bemuse me that you pay quite a lot of money to go and watch these players
this
produce
specifically
excellence.
night is really expensive as well.
You go and watch them to produce excellence for you, yet you then do something that is actively going to prevent a player from producing their best. I don't get it.
I've already said that's like me going to Silverstone on the first bend and chucking 10 gallon of oil on the track and watching them all spin off and going, oh, isn't that great? Don't get it. Don't get it. I know what I do, and I said how to solve it. Get yourself 4 proper doormen in there who are in plain clothes, and you just start pulling them out. Hey, on a cold winter's night, when all your mates are enjoying it, you're getting thrown out. They'll see a couple of them, make an announcement at the top. It won't be tolerated. You do it, you're out. End of problem.
Yeah. It has to change, because these players want to entertain us.
They do. They want to be able to play at their best and put on a show. They're entertainers. Down to 107 Price. Good response. Bunty 245 at the hockey. Treble 20. Follows it. Another max? Of course. Now there's a different look at this 107 for Pricey.
And he drifts into the 3-bed. Rescues it with treble 18 for Bull. But he's a long way short of that as well. And that's been his attempt at doubles in this match, hasn't it, really?
Yeah. Well, we said it from the off. 25's found. Wow, a wild dart at tops. He hits the 5. We said it about Price. If he starts missing, he keeps missing.
Yep. But he's going to get 2 darts here to re-establish the lead and break Bunting's throw again. Well, neither of these players can hold throw at the moment.
No. Well, that's usually an indication of a scrappy game, and on this occasion, that's exactly what it is.
Indeed. Stephen Bunting, well, they're both averaging in the low 90s at the moment, and you can see the frustration now, even though he leads 3-2, starting to get to the Iceman, isn't it? Who just wants to continue in the same manner that he's won his other nights.
Yep. Only a ton, down to 343, so Bunty with the 140, already in a position to produce yet another breaker throw.
There is a lot of life left in this final, you feel?
Yes.
Have absolutely no idea which way this one's going to go, because even though that's a trebleless visit from Bunting, he's just on 301. Even if Price is first down to a finish, are you confident he's going to get it first look?
Well, the odds makers were bouncing all over the place. Yes, they made Pricey a favourite, but they weren't convinced.
100.
Ton from Bunty, down to 201. Price leads 3-2 in a race to 6. Night 9 of 17. We are in Berlin at the Uber Arena. This is the final.
98.
98 for Pricey, down to 194. So there's still an opportunity for Bunting. Single 20, single 19. Nothing doing. Oh, gets the treble 18, down to 108.
But it could be so much better, couldn't it? Because Price, truth be told, has left the door ajar this entire leg.
77.
Really. But it is a 108 chance for Bunting to break yet again. Gets the treble 20. Double 16. Can he work off that first dart? The first dart in the single bed was quite close to the double. It looked like he could use that.
Yeah.
Wasn't able to.
Still work to do for Gerwyn. Found the treble 20 off 117. Single 17. Gets it. Tops. This would make him feel a whole lot better. Put your earplugs in? No. that was a long way off, Abi, wasn't it?
Yeah. His darts at tops and tens in this match have really left a lot to be desired, a lot of them, it has to be said, and Stephen Bunting again makes him pay on double 8.
Well, he's been given a hand tonight. He has played very, very well in spells, but there's lots of situations and moments you could break down, and if he does go on to win tonight, I'm not sure fortunate would be fair, but it would be a little.
Yeah, I mean, against Nathan Aspinall, he was superb, averaged 103, 54% checkout success. His finishing has been great in his first 2 matches. He was then 40% against Luke Humphries. This match, it's just felt like, well, at the back end of legs, they've both brought each other down, haven't they?
Yeah.
Bunting around 25%, but the Iceman, 19% checkout success.
And the thing is, when you're in a game like this, you know you've only got to raise your level 10%, and that could be more than enough to get the job done, and you just sort of get bogged down with bad darts, and you can't shake it off.
Well, that's the thing with Price, isn't it? That dart for the 117 at the back end of the last leg. He's had opportunities like that in almost every single one of his legs played.
Absolutely, and listen, when Price is on it, they go in.
Well, it's his bread and butter, isn't it, Top? So you're thinking, why can I not just find that?
Well, why did Littler lose? Couldn't hit double 10.
Yeah.
That's normally a W associate with him and go, well, that's this leg over.
Well, it still feels astonishing just saying it, doesn't it? Hours after the event. What? Are you sure Luke Littler didn't hit double 10? Well, Price is hoping for a dart at the bull here at the end of a 1-6-7 combination. Not going to happen. Couldn't find the treble 20 with his second dart. So the bullet to strike a blow.
Oh, we're going to get a hold of throw. Treble 20's found, double 18. Oh, yes. And a big reaction from Bunting. And even a little smile and a nod from Gerwyn Price, who finds himself full 3 behind, but starts very nearly. I think he thought that was a 180, and then he just
styled it out.
He just styled it out, didn't he?
Fair play to him. He'd committed to the celebration, so went, I'm just going to have it. I'm just going to pretend. But this is an excellent response from the Welshman. Having just seen the bullet hold throw for the first time in this match, a 96 outshot.
Yeah, this is good stuff from Pricey. Down to 265. Bunty 443 before that 99. So still a bit to do to get on level terms with Pricey, who from 265 finds treble 19 in a horrible deflection into the corner of treble 7.
98.
In the end, leaves himself 167.
He's left himself the 167 a couple of times in this match. Will he get a dart at the bull? Stephen Bunting.
96,
well, fortunately for him, he doesn't even need to think about it with Bunty back on 248.
91.
Good thinking there. He's gone straight for the 54, knowing that if he hit 2, it would leave tops.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure wanting to leave tops at this point in the match is exactly what he wants to be doing, but
no, I'd have changed it up by now.
Well, it's double 8, the port of call for Price to level us up in this one. Neither could hold throw in the first 6 legs, but now we've got to hold a throw apiece, and these two, you just cannot separate them. It is Bunting who won the bull backstage. He'll have the darts if it goes all the way to a decider.
That was a massive reaction from Pricey. It was only a 76 finish, wasn't it? But it was because he avoided going within 1 of defeat. He's got it back to 4-4, starts with a 140. Only a 60 from Bunting.
Well, absolutely everything at the moment is getting a huge reaction from Gerwyn Price. I think if Charlie Corstefine started skipping up on stage, I think he might get a big reaction as well from him. Everything he does. Okay, maybe not that 60. Traveller's visit, okay.
Timed perfection. Don't worry with kids, animals, or dart players.
Well, do you know what? The way he was celebrating things, I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd given it big for a trebleless visit, because I thought there was a hint of irony in what he was doing. I didn't find it was overly sincere celebrating.
No, it was almost sarcastic, wasn't it? Or it was almost into reaction of the way Bunting celebrated the 96.
The 96. That's exactly what I thought, because it was the first visit after that, the 140. He gave it large after that, and pretty much everything else in that leg. But Bunting's back in the red bit. We might see a celebration from him in a couple of seconds' time, because that's another 180. The 400th 180 of this Premier League campaign.
134. Seemingly required 45.
Well, Price is left 71 just in case, and the finishing in this match has been far from spectacular.
Doesn't get it done first dart, and misses outside on double 8. So Gerwyn Price now, and we're going to revert back to the trend of breaks of throw. 71 points separate him. He's found the treble, double 10. Misses inside, up for double 5, and he does pin it. He's going to have the darts in this next leg to win it 6-4. Stephen Bunting, a little snarl from him. He knows he had the opportunity there. He knows that the Iceman has been let off the hook. The bullet had his chance. Missed darts at double 16 and double 8. Price is punished. But comes up dry with his first visit.
Just when you spag for just a 140 or even a ton. You want to get this done in 5 visits and limit your opponent the opportunity of only winning the leg in 12.
There's only 41 in response from Stephen Bunting. He'll have seen that as an opportunity to get the upper hand in this leg. Price does find a big treble with his second visit, 3-4-2.
Bunty with the 41, 460 minus these, and well, he looks a little flushed. He's feeling it. Finds a treble. There's a lot of movement in the upper body now. This is one of those games where they're just going to fall over the line.
Yeah, and it is a quick turnaround. These players, of course, they're used to playing more than one game on a day on the Euro Tour and Players' Championship events. But this is a particularly quick turnaround, isn't it? And it's on a big stage in front of lots of fans, unlike the Players' Championship events.
Yeah, you don't sort of get time to almost absorb the information from your opening game before you're back on again, especially for Gezi, because he didn't get a game in the quarter-final. But he's down to 102, Bunty on 266, finds treble 20, follows it. There's going to be pressure, and plenty of it. 180 to leave 86. Price for the win, 102. Ooh, big one leaves 101. Doesn't get the treble 17. Well, we know the crowd want what they want to see. They want to see it go to a decider.
Who doesn't want a last leg decider here? This has been enthralling. It's not always been the highest quality, but Stephen Bunting with a dart at bull, so close.
You could hear how close it was. Clip the wire.
So Gerwyn Price, 59 points away. 2 darts at tops. It has not been his friend in this match. And he comes inside again, double 10. Well, those 2 targets just have not worked for him this evening. He gives a sarcastic thumbs up again to the crowd. But that time, I think he knows that's all on him.
Yeah, and again, though, the crowd getting on his case. And what does that do? Allow Bunty in. Guess what? Pins the finish.
And it is going to be Stephen Bunting who has the darts. But truth be told, given how this match has gone, I'm not even sure if that's an advantage anymore.
I think it may be a disadvantage right now.
Maybe that's why he was trying to throw Gerwyn Price to the hockey there at the start of that leg. No, you haven't, mate.
Go on, you start. I don't want it. Nah, go on, mate. You want it. So a 96 start from Bunting. 5-5. The response, 95. Absolute parity.
I have to say, this match is proof of why you don't need big averages to make thoroughly entertaining matches, because this has been gripping
Oh, give me two guys having around the midnight is nip and tuck. It's proper sport. Yes, it's great seeing your littlers pile in massive averages, but it's normally one-way traffic. It's not. There's no competitive element to it. Bunty 3-4-7 on throw. Price 3-10.
Yeah, the finishing hardly spellbinding from either of them. Stephen Bunting 29%, Gerwyn Price 23%. But Price with a 140 visit there.
Well, this would be some way to win it, wouldn't it?
And again, it's against the darts, so there'd be no surprise at all. He's left himself the big fish. Bunting should be better placed. The first darts in the treble 20 bed. He responds with a ton 40 visit. He's on 107. The 170 not going to go. First dart way above the treble 20 segment. And he comes up dry, Gerwyn Price. It could now actually be advantage Bunting.
Yeah, 107 for Bunty for the win. Starts on treble 19, gets it, 50 left. Single 18, leaves double 16, and Bunty takes the title. Spent 8 weeks without a single win, turns up in Berlin and gets the job done, beating Gerwyn Price 6-5 in the final. He was just destined, wasn't he?
Absolutely incredible. It just goes to show when that pressure is eased from finally picking up those first 2 points. Stephen Bunting standing with his hands on his hips, staring out to the crowd, looking out as if to say, this is the moment I have been longing for since I was announced to compete in this year's Premier League. This is the feeling that I have so wanted to experience. And he has got that moment in Berlin. It is the Bullets night. He has gone from 0 to hero. No points to his name before tonight's action. Well, he's up to 5 now and things are looking better. Now, Chris Mason, after that nightly win, are you changing the way you're seeing Stephen Bunting? Could he come back into contention?
Listen, he could. Do I think it's likely? Not really. I think tonight was a bit of an anomaly. I mean, the difference between Price's level of play in that match and the one before it, you know, and the one before he got plenty of support in that one. The abuse he got at times is obviously off-putting, but ultimately what that does is justify not only to Stephen himself why he's in the Premier League, the players who doubted whether he should have been in the Premier League, and I'm not sure there was too many of them, and the fans, you know, the experts who said, you know, he shouldn't be in the Premier League. You know, he's proven them all wrong. But listen, by winning one night, it just shows that, look, I'm meant to be there.
Well, I just have to pick up on that point because anyone who did question his involvement might not have watched the start of 2025, because after reaching the semi-final of the World Championship, he won in Bahrain. He made the final of the Dutch Darts Masters, the quarter-final of the World Masters as well. He is a player who has already averaged in excess of 111 against Chris Dobey in a competition in 2025. There is no reason why his inclusion should have been questioned, but now he has a beaming smile on his face. Stephen Bunting, a nightly winner before even Michael van Gerwen, Chris Mason.
Yeah, that's another anomaly, isn't it? Who would have thought that? But listen, I think that's the ever-changing landscape of our sport, isn't it? It's in such a healthy place. Listen, as a player, it must be wonderful to see what rewards are on offer, but to see who you got to play against week in, week out, I'm glad I'm out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it has been a drama-filled evening in Berlin. There was no Michael van Gerwen. He had to withdraw due to a shoulder injury, meaning Gerwyn Price had to buy through to the semi-final. Chris Dobey took care of Luke Littler, who was in search of history. He beat him in the quarter-finals, and after picking up his first 2 points of the Premier League campaign, well, it was Bullets night in Berlin. Next up on talkSPORT 2, we've got PGA Tour Golf with live coverage from the opening round from TPC San Antonio. When it comes to the Darts Premier League, the last thing you want is an online mishap throwing you off your game. Threat Protection Pro helps you dodge bogus sites, and with the Dark Web Monitor, you'll get a heads up if your personal info starts circulating in the online equivalent of the madhouse. Go to nordvpn.com/dartsvpn and get 2 years plus 4 months free and a birthday deal. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee.